The market gapped up this morning. As you can see here, this is where we closed yesterday, and then as you've noticed right here, this is where we closed. We gapped up about 0.7% this morning, and then it started failing right away. So as you can see, first, second hour, third hour. And on the fourth hour, as you can see, that gap from this morning was fully filled. However, my micro-term moving average was right there in that vicinity. You can see that micro-term has been acting as support pretty much this entire month of September.
Perfect.
We threw that hammer right there, and we did see a little bit of follow through on the 5th and 6th hour. So what can we expect going into tomorrow with the price action like this? And obviously, you know, with the gap up and fade, a lot of times that could, you know, signify some kind of a weakness, and then some people might even think that this is possibly a topping pattern. It depends on how it plays out tomorrow, because we all know that 1 hour move, 1 day move does not create a trend. So it would have been better for the buyers if this gap remained open, at least some of it. And then if Bill Bulls would have done something like this, then I think I could have confidently say, let's welcome new all-time highs, and we're gonna ride the this new highs next week. But because that gap was filled, though we did find support on the micro term, I think because that micro term has been such a successful, retesting the micro term was such a successful journey for the buyers, because as you can see, it has not been breached. The micro term has not been breached, so we might there's a chance that we could continue sort of in this grindy, choppy fashion and continue to grind higher. And look at that oscillator, because I think if the market, if the gap would have held maybe somewhere here on this resistance, and if that gap would have held and we would have done something like this, that oscillator probably would have found support right on that oscillator rising support right here, as you can see it. And these levels, as you can see here, did act as support and would have acted as support, you know what I mean, if we would have seen that gap holding. Because the gap didn't hold, we kept coming down all the way to 4th hour. We sort of broke through. And it does not mean that, we can't go back up. But you can see that oscillator is at kind of a neutral stance. It didn't cross back up here. And we're below the rising support line. So there's a chance that, it could have been some kind of a head fake, a little trap before going back up, or we see some sort of down move tomorrow, especially if we see a down gap below the micro term or some sort of abrupt sell-off. And if we lose the micro term, and I got my short term there as well, that's the green, that's a micro term, that's a short term. If we lose both of these, bears are going to eye on the 565, at least that 567 pivot. And to attack this up gap, and midterm is coming up here, and that oscillator is going to roll over. So it's going to be very, very important how this market plays out first 2 hours in the morning, which is going to set the tone for the day. Quickly, let's look at NVDA. On the last video update, you guys remember on Tuesday, we talked about a lot about this falling resistance, right? Connected here, and that's where we hit today, right? Resistance here, and that's where we fell down. But the up gap from, it looks like the up gap from couple days ago or yesterday it's still open. You see this gap? You see that? This is where, again, on Tuesday, this is where we close. We open here Wednesday, and you can see this gap still remaining. And we found support on that 4th hour. We did a little bit of bounce there. And then we also have the micro term got tagged. So what we talked about on the last video is that the for the uptrend to be fully established, bulls need to get up, break above the falling resistance lines, the pink dotted lines, and then pull back, possibly retest as new support, right? Because it's prior resistance, and then go after the new all-time highs.
Perfect.
So this is a very crucial level for NVIDIA longs here, because if we start failing, see that my oscillator rolled over? If we start failing,
What?
because this is a vicinity, if we fail, it's gonna be a big fail. Not just gonna be a couple days, it could be weeks. And it's gonna be a big disruptive correction that may come, and the downtrend could continue if we break below this low here.